Okay, okay. How the frick did that happen? Oh well. Hello, Light General. First try of the day? We're so back? Here's when you got the easiest stack in the game? We're just first trying everything of the day? Hello? He's hoping gotta go wins today. I don't want her to win. Like, the whole purpose of this is to try to beat Kaneko. Oh, first set of the day. pretty solid, I'd say. Like, I'm late game, and I have setup, and I got to the late game, so... That means the run's broken. You got it, definitely. I would say, I'm sure there's a way I could play it right now that would make it guaranteed, but I'm not the most familiar with Puppet Dance, so it's not the easiest thing for me to do, but... Puppet Dance early and mid-game, it's outside of, like, very rare exceptions, it's very well done overall. It's just, you have... There's just setup for days in the late game. At least as far as the player gets access to, it's just... gives the player way too much setup. To Genbu everything. As good as Genbu is, you don't even need it in like a lot of these battles. Just the fact that you have, like, you just have so many options. Like, oh, we have belly drum and baton pass. The belly drum, agility, and baton pass on Renosuke. So that can do kind of like whatever you want it to do. Or go wherever you want it to. Ellie has essentially Dragon Dance, but better. Orin's got Quiver Dance. Mystia has all the shenanigans Mystia has. I think a lot of the opposing fights are designed very well, but I think the two main issues with the Nuzlocke in terms of balance related is A, they're, like, none of the minor trainers, like, are really that mandatory or particularly threatening. Like, there are a couple that stand out, but, like, those are very, very few and far between. And they tend to be pretty simple. They don't have high-level AI. And B, the fact that you, the player, just get access to way too much stuff. Like, if I just modify the game to get rid of almost all the setup options, ooh, that game becomes a lot more fescinating throughout it. She just moved straight down. No, she moved slightly to the right, I guess. Like, gee, which of my morale boost sweepers do I want to try to pull out this time? Yo, give me that berry every time? Hell yeah, baby. Or just wait till I get into ROM hacking puppet dance, which I'll totally go out of my way to do. Then we'll have the greatest challenge. I'd be more interested in doing that if we had a better understanding of the AI. Doing what? Actually, like using the save editor and the actual save editors for the game, and essentially making a ROM hack, or just, you know, just modifying the game itself to make it harder. Areas. But with the way the AI is, I'm curious about it. That's what Puppet Dance. I mean, yeah, there are the, like, on Emerald Kaizo. But usually the better structured ones are, like, usually the Drayano ROM hacks. He makes a lot of solid ones. Although he still has some options. There's always Pokemon Run and Bun that I always reference. Although I don't know if I'd go as extreme as that game does. Unless I had a perfect understanding of the AI, even then. Because one thing that Puppet Dance does have that, like, you know, vanilla Pokemon doesn't, is almost all the major battles are hard in some way. Like, they all have problems. Like, a lot of the big fights are set up well to make them difficult. So it's not like you don't even have to really, like, restructure everything. It's just make more normal trainers have threats on them, and be mandatory, and B, restrict the options a player has a little bit. Probably a lot bit, because he has so many options. But just, like, trim down the Genbus a little bit. Maybe trim down the Changeling learnage a little bit. Traps, tiny bit. It's specifically all your late game setup. Because you can make it where you have to have those late game fights look like the early game fights, or early/mid game fights I'm doing, then that would be something. And your puppets can learn Changeling, those we call a skill difference. You'd have to tone down a few abilities as well, right? Like, you'd have to trim the morale boosters. Trainers have more mons besides two. Probably a little bit. But more importantly, it's not that bad if you have... Like, you don't have to force every normal trainer to be the most threatening thing, like, say, Pokemon Run and Gun does. But what you should do is you should give some normal trainers some real teams, at least, like, a few real puppets. But more importantly, make more of them mandatory in that regard. Because if they're mandatory but they don't have real teams, they're just complete slogs. Because you just kind of sit there and you're like, okay, you know, you just kind of like walk through. Okay, make sure you grab the right pup. Make sure you just grab kind of a generally good puppet for this, and boom, you just kind of like walk through the fight. That you have to, but they're mandatory. But the other problem is if you make a lot of these fights completely optional, then like what's the point? Here's this random no-name trainer that has 3 puppets. Ooh, maybe they're a little threatening. Well, you can just walk around them. Right? Like, I noticed this going through the Blazing Hell, or I'm sorry, the remains of Blazing Hell in this puppet run. Is that, like, there's a lot of trainers in there, and I think there was, like, 2 mandatory trainers. There's probably 10 to 12 trainers I feel in there. Maybe that's exaggeration, but definitely feels somewhere in that range. And then, but the reality is, it's like, literally, I believe there's only 2 of them you have to fight. I believe all the others are completely avoidable. Ooh. Love that attack. Be down rather than deal real damage? Yeah. To an extent, but even when you're playing casually, it's like the name of the game oftentimes just, well, go back and heal, and they're still kind of free. But also the whole idea of, you know, changing that is to rebalance the run specifically for the sake of, like, Nuzlocke and challenge runs. And even then, I'll say this as someone who played through the game casually once. A lot of those big dungeons feel more like slogs than they do like challenges. Like, exploring the Yokai Mountain is just, like you accidentally over-level just because there's so many trainers that you, like, whoopsie-woo stumble upon. And so, to a way, you kind of trivialize some things because you just end up over-leveling at many parts. It's like, I mean, I did this a little bit, but I generally don't like to just, like, walk around, you know, with with 3 fainted puppets and then walk into a major boss. And be like, oh, we'll see how this goes. It's like you go fight like 3 puppets. Oh, you have 2 casualties. I guess I should probably go back and heal them up. Take the trip back, heal them up, come back up, boom. Rinse, repeat. But this is the other thing, too. Like, there's so many, like, just trainers that are just... eh. I mean, there's that Oku at the end of Blazing Hell, which is good. She has, like, a team that has items, that has, like, I'd assume custom movesets. Like, she has, like, a real team, but there's so many of those just trainers that have... Okay, they don't have items, that maybe they don't have custom movesets. They just kind of have whatever. They have nothing that is, like, really interesting. So, most things, yeah. Well, you like I say, you really feel that in the Yoka now, just because there's so many optionals. And XP in the game is really high, especially with the fact that you get party-wide XP. Kageyama. And I mean, to be fair, with how hard a lot of the bosses are, casually speaking, it's fine. But as someone who really enjoys the other side of the game, you know, a very specific side, I'd be interested in, like, actually modifying the game for, like, to make a version specifically just for that. Some people have done that before with Pokemon. I'd be interested in doing it for that, but... First of all, is actually getting the tools. I know some people have them, I just have to go asking to modify the game like that. But also, I'm also really hesitant to do it because, like, we just don't know how the fucking AI does its shenanigans. And the original game makers, are no longer, like, around. And, I forget the type of code. I forget the type of code, but, like, there is, like, oh, there kind of is, like, how the AI plays in, like, the files, but you'd have to be able to read... I forget the type of coding that it is. But it'd be a real pain in the ass to try to translate. Maybe this is what I should use AI for. Feed all that code into an AI program, see what it spits out. Even if it probably spits out a failure of anything logical, just see what it gives. It's not binary code. What's the term for it? Because we try to open up, it's just a bunch of random symbols that don't make any sense. Like the very, very, like... Hex. I don't know. It's not Hex. I recognize the name. Assembly. That's what it is. Am I blabbing? I'm blabbing that, You're stupid, Game Glitcher. No, I'm blabbing that, I'm blabbing how I should get my hands on, actual, like, editors for, Puppet Dance to, like, edit. Like, not just my party, but, like, other aspects of editing the game. And to try to figure out how the AI works. Gotta do the assembly reading to figure out how the fucking AI acts in that game. Eurometer, yeah. Because I was talking about how, like, I would like to actually, like, modify the game to make, like, a version that's, like, very, like, geared towards making a very hard Nuzlocke. That's, like, set up for that purpose. But I'd have to get an editor, which I'm pretty sure I think exists. But more importantly, I'm also, like, a little lenient on actually wanting to do that. Until I get, like, a better understanding of the AI. Assembler.exe. Just go ask AI to do it. Surely that's fine, right? Surely it'll give you a completely readable and no problematic thing, right? Brock, explain to me the AI Puppet Dance performance. What use are you? Honestly, Game Glitcher. I don't see ever done anything to help me out. Make separate patches. I'd assume that's how it is. Because I was rambling before you showed up, Game Glitcher, on how I like a lot of it, but there's kind of two issues with the base game for Nuzlocke. Also, 161 mil going to Tori is insane. There's kind of two, like, issues with the base game for the Nuzlocke purposes. And, like, this is not, like, an issue with the game, it's just the fact that the game is not made for Nuzlocking. And that is, A, there needs to be more regular trainers that have, like, somewhat decent teams and are mandatory. But also, like, you know, having documentation about them, too. Like, I've noticed this issue before, but, like, let's take it, like, very noticeably in, like, The Remains of Blazing Hell, to mention this. There's, like, 12 trainers in there, and, like, literally, there's, like, 2 of them are mandatory. It kind of makes the dungeon feel really massive and not that interesting. And also, like, a lot of these teams are, like, a puppet. With, like, no custom moves. They just, like, learn, like, the latest 4 moves they've learned, their level up. And then, like, most of the time, they don't even have an item or anything. Because, like, one thing that Puppet Dance does have is it actually has really good boss fights. But, like, outside of those, the game seems to be fairly lacking in, like... I mean, it's not that there isn't. Like, that Oku fight is actually a real fight. She has a team, multiple puppets, good level, items, right? Like, that's not bad. Mandatory fight. But there's just, like, not much of that. And the second issue is the game gives you access to way too much broken shit. It's like you can have some really strong shit, but like tone it down like a little bit for the sake of it, specifically for a Nuzlocke. Like, does every puppet have to get, like, the most broken setup moves at level 70? Oh, buddy, that one was just coming too much to the left. And, like, do we need that many Genbu users and that many morale boost users on the market? Does Changeling have to be learned by, like, as many puppets as, you know, can currently learn it? Of course, well, the whole idea of the patch would be to, like, literally just for this purpose. Like, I'm not saying this should be something that other people do, necessarily. Like, the base game is not necessarily designed specifically with the idea of nuzlocking, like it should be. I'm not saying it should be designed for nuzlocking, but, like, it's designed in a way and purpose, and that's good. But I'm interested in, like, trying to make us a simple patch for, like, the opposite. No, not necessarily. But I do want to, like, probably completely remove Morale Boost. That ability is insanely stupid. Maybe keep it on, like, 1 or 2 puppets. Maybe. Dorothy from existence? No. No. Maybe rebalance her level up a little bit to make it not quite as good early. But honestly, it's not even, like, that insane early. Genbu plus Changeling is a little good, but, like... Because the reality of Puppet Dance and Pokemon games is pretty simple. If you give the user access to Dragon Dance, you can break any fight. In the vanilla game. In something like competitive, it's a little bit balanced. But casually, or even like sort of like, you know, try-hardy in like a Nuzlocke type of setting, it's like having setup like that could just completely break open a fight. Stuff otherwise. I'm not talking about balancing the game for competitive Pokemon. I'm talking about specifically for Nuzlocke purposes. Your puppet's worth? Yeah, but Radical Red did this, and you know what happened to Radical Red? For Pokemon? You just break the game. Like, it's just that simple. You just kind of break the game. Like, you just get something that's so broken that it doesn't matter what the AI has. Like, who cares what most of the AI has when I'm baton passing +6 attack from Renosuke to something, and then I just sweep. Especially with the fact that AI in these type of games is very exploitable. Right? One reason why it's hard to do it in, like, competitive player versus player settings is the fact that everyone's very aware of the concept of setup. And although you can set up, and sometimes you will set up and win a fight, it's like, generally the other player is aware of this notion and has ways where, like, hey, I can recognize this situation, boom, get someone in here, stop that. AI does not do that. Puppet Dance AI does seem to be a bit more advanced than most in terms of its switching abilities, but even then, it still is limited. Can't make AI smarter? Well, the problem is, how smart do you make AI? You could make it smarter. You could code it to be better. Pokemon Run and Fun, which I always talk about, has custom-made AI for it. It also completely restricts almost all, like, setup options the player has. Because, like, as is in the base game, like, a lot of the bosses are that was really bad of me. A lot of the bosses are really strong. They have really good teams. Okina's got a terrifying team. But guess what? All it takes is a single Rising Sun on a morale booster, and the fight goes from being incredibly difficult to free. Now, you could say, well, just claw setup in a normal run, and there is an extent where you do it. However, I'm usually not someone who likes to clause things in mid-runs. Where I like to clause things in games specifically for, just don't use this option. Usually if the game gives me that, I like the ability to be able to use it. And I'd rather just completely restrict the option. Ooh, that was bad. That was really, really bad. And also, it's like, where do you draw the line for some of this stuff, too? The AI cheats? Yes, but the AI doesn't cheat in a way that makes it impossible to beat. It still is incredibly exploitable in its own way. It's just, it, on average, plays better than your normal Pokemon AI. It could be impossible? What do you mean by could be impossible? Like, I could make the game too hard that it's not possible to beat under the conditions I have? Isn't that the whole idea of playtesting? And actually, like, designing a game so that, you know, it's very hard, but still beatable under the context of this restriction? Yeah, but the AI doesn't always seem to be perfect in knowing what you're doing. It seems to be able to read some things, but not everything. But also, it's like, I'm less interested in making the AI play perfectly to whatever you're trying to do and to make yourself impossible to, like, play. Like, I think it's just better to, like, play under the context of as the AI is, However, it's a lot easier to like design this stuff when you understand how the AI plays and tries to do its reactions and plays. Yeah, but Invalidate's not going to stop you from fairy dancing all over them. VA has a Validate puppet against a setup ability. I think that's way too little in terms of stopping the effect. I think having the AI be like, oh, I have Invalidate against some morale booster, switch that in to cancel that. I think that's way too little. I don't think that solves the issue too much. I think that's the type of thing that casually it will affect the game, but if you're trying to play seriously to some degree, it's not going to affect. It's not going to be an issue. But again, all of this is based under the idea of like actually custom making the AI, which is not what I have any intention of doing. Yeah, I fucked that one up. I just want to know how the AI is so I can custom make the game around it. Or parts of the game. Because like I said, there's the good thing about Puppet Dance is a lot of the boss fights are already designed very well. Yokita, the first question, right? That would be something you probably want to do. We're throwing. I really have to pee. I'm gonna blame it on that right now. My bladder is leaking. Not actually leaking, but... I did kiss her. Uh-oh. It's too easy. It's far too easy. In the late game, at least. I mean, people have proven this before. Let's look at, like, Boruto's current team or Maribel's current team. These teams are disgusting. And yet, it's so easy to take a single puppet and break the fight wide open in a way that the fight's no contest. Because you have so much broken shit at your own disposal that who cares what the AI it has? Like, why do I care when the AI has a Renko that wants to set up the weather for its Maribel that's trying to, like, sweep my entire team when I just use the free setup time to set up my own shit, and then suddenly her shit just can't even compare? Also, the AI is doing no. I mean, well, yes, but, like, how are you going to design an AI to play around this without making it a person playing it? Like, the method that a lot of Pokemon ROM hackers have made to make hard games designed to be Nuzlocke like this is just to remove setup. even when they themselves, like Run and Bud, is making custom AI for the game. It's like often the strategy is just the play to balance a lot of this is just because I mean, let's just look at that Boruto team. His team has double stats. He's got level 100 puppets that are effectively like double the stats of other things, and yet you can just kind of clean through that fight. I mean, what's the AI gonna do? Like realistically, in some of these fights, like, what's the AI going to do? I gotta pee and I'm gonna rant some more. Are you wiping out ability or something? Well, I'm not going to completely wipe it out. I'll let the AI use it. Right? Like, I'll let the AI use Fairy Dance. And I'm not saying that thing shouldn't be busted in Puppet Dance. What I'm saying is that if I'm designing like a side patch that, like, realistically I might be one of the only people who've ever played. Maybe some other people would play it, and, you know, but like I'd only make it for the intention of like this purpose, and like a lot of the intention is to remove the busted things, the busted setup options, and that you don't have to get rid of it all the way, but you have to trim it down a lot because. It's not like Puppet Dance has a little bit of busted things. It has a lot of busted things. Like, so many of my modern fights is just, who do I want to set up with? Like, I think you can throw a few traps on the ground or something. I think you can have traps, control them a little bit, but like, let's think of the fight against Remy. That fight's really interesting. You're pivoting around. The AI's smart enough to make it swap, so you kind of have to play around it. It's very winnable, but it's also like it's a difficult thing where you have to make sure you have the right. Make sure you have, you're using your puppets properly, you're managing your HP as you try to break through. And that type of fight is really interesting. In fact, I'd argue the Remy fight might be my favorite fight from the game. And there are other fights that have this, but the further and further I've gotten the game, the less and less this has existed, because it just feels like the more and more cheese I get. And the AI is just not good enough to just to figure out how to get around it. Online. Yeah, but the thing about online that makes it so threatening in this regard is the fact that you don't know the opponent's team before you, like, start the fight. You can't prep for their team ahead of time. So you kind of have to have, hey, what if my opponent has setup options? I need to build a team that allows me to play for this. You're not going to realistically try to set up the game, in-game, to be like, how do I make all these teams have, like, all the AI teams have a way to stop setup in across the border. Because, like, that's the thing about online. It's like you have the human versus human aspect. Of customly, like, controlling your team and having the ability to play around setup. AI literally, like, can't really do this at all. Or it can, like, but it requires, like, such an extreme, like you'd have to really map out, like, so many circumstances to try to get the AI to play really well into this. There's a move that nullifies stat changes? Yeah. But, like, who cares if the opponent has a move that nullifies stat changes when you have someone that resists that move, and then after the single boost, they outspeed and kill it, so they switch that puppet in. Guess what? You're +1, and you just kill him. Okay, so what are you going to do? Modify the move to give it priority to counter it? That seems weird. Make a move of that of every type? Like, let's look at that fight. Let's look at that fight I just did against Okina. I lead with Ron. Okay, well, the AI recognizes I have setup potential. Is it gonna switch into that the clear stat ability or the clear stat move immediately, or does it want to wait till I actually get boosted? Are we gonna have the AI read that I have boosting effects ahead of time and have it pre-switch? That seems exploitable because you can just manipulate the AI like this. Well, if I know the opponent is always going to switch to this type of move into this, I just use something that's good against that puppet. I don't even have to set up. I just beat it by the fact that I've used its AI like that. Or also this. Okay, I click Rising Sun. The AI switches into, like, the Miko. Let's say that Miko that I was fighting in that run had a stat clearing move. The AI switched into it, and then it would have died. It would have died before it could do anything. But the AI and the teams. How are you going to buff the teams? Most of the boss fight teams in Puppet Dance are already incredibly strong. So, like, realistically, often the play is to modify stuff on your end. Like, you still can have access to so many things. It's just trim down some of the busted things. Does he even have priority, though? So, but let's say you put it on a curiosity user, it's like, okay. You're still falling into a similar trap where it's like, if I always know this setup is going to work like this, debating things around, you can just really easily kind of take advantage of the AI. Although you can kind of do that as is, so it's not like it doesn't feel like it's much different. Or sorry, priority. Is it already priority? That's interesting. I just come to the idea that, like, the game can be broken. And a lot of this comes down to, like, for this purpose, comes down to the fact that, like, it's kind of, you know, it's kind of basing a lot of its design off of a game that is not necessarily meant to be played in this regard. So there's a lot more. What the fuck you doing to me, girl? H2 variables. Yeah, and the other issue with balancing teams is, like, how do you set up a team that's gonna counter, like, because again, it's like there's just so many options as the player. Like, again, it's like, what if you don't? Okay, you have phase inversion, but then what if you just go to Genbu? Genbu boosts your Waggy Saggy. That's, you know, one-shotting everything with a water move to counter the phase inversion user. It's like. It's like, a big problem is just, like, with AI, is, like, there's just so much hand-holding you'd have to do to the AI, and, like, so many details you'd have to set up, that it just makes you question, is, like, is it easier just to trim down your options here? Because again, in human versus human situations, broken shit is a lot easier to balance, because it's like, if, you know, everything's broken, then nothing is, to a degree. But, like, you can't really make an AI unless you spend so much effort to play like a human. You can make them smart, you can make them be able to take advantage of some things, but generally, the best thing you can do to an AI is make it see kills. And in this type of game, like, make it see defensive switches. But, like, how far can you get? How far can you get without making the AI abusable in a different way? Because one of the biggest issues I come to this regard is just traps. Okay? The AI has a high priority for traps, which I think is a good thing. I think the AI should have a high priority for traps, but that also makes it very abusable, specifically with setup. So it's like, what's the answer? You make the AI, like, not prioritize traps, but then that kind of makes traps feel weird, feel kind of bad almost. Like good boots and moves. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going on about. It's like I would like to, if A, I get my hands on like a ROM editor for like Puppet Dance essentially, and B, you know, figure out to actually get like a more concrete idea of how the AI works. That last part's not necessarily super important, but it would be good. Fucking bitches, dude. Flame that dude. That's not everyone's cup of tea. Right? But if you're doing it specifically for the sake of making a version of the game meant to be a very hard Nuzlocke. Because, like, as is, I'm already restricting myself. And the game feels too easy. For this type of challenge run. Which does make sense, of course. The base game's not meant to be played like this. So there's nothing necessarily wrong like that. But there's an interesting idea. If you can edit a version of the game that is more intended to do so, then it plays more like a puzzle. Which, personally, I find interesting. Not everyone does. I would say even a ton of people, but... Gonna leave forward? Yeah, and whenever I lose this run or win this run, I'm not going to do another run immediately. But, I mean, I've seen this in Drayana ROM hacks, some of the best boss fight created Pokemon ROM hacks, and oh, I have this setup user that sweeps these two Elite Four members. Oh, I have this guy that sweeps this Elite Four member. Oh, guess what? I just kind of cheese this fight. Like, the biggest thing that's limiting me on the run is simply game knowledge slash experience. Ooh. Like, I am 100% convinced with enough knowledge and stuff, I could sweep the Elite Four. Like if I was smart enough in Puppet Dance with what I currently have, the Elite Four could be free. Like literally free. No fight is even in contention. Seven, I was like, that's also true, but a big issue with it is also the fact that there's just so much setup in this game. In Puppet Dance. Like there's so much of it. Like, at the bare minimum, like, almost every puppet gets access to weather, or terrains. And although a lot of them are, like, not that good, there is, like... It's like, there's so many heavy fog users, and all it takes is, like, one of those... Like, I had not been abusing the weather, like, at all in my runs. The only thing I've really taken advantage of is Genbu. But, like, as is, it's like, there's so much broken shit you as the player can do there. I think the most interesting use of weather is, like, on that, I think it was the Umani fight, where she sets up the Aurora, and it's like, ooh, you have to deal with the Aurora. You can use your Aurora advantage options in this fight, but, like, that's where I think it was, like, the most interesting weather option on the market. Hey, I was switching with traps. Yeah, but, like, that's another thing I commented on, like, restriction is traps. Is set up traps. I'm not saying you could just get rid of it completely, but it's restricting that, definitely. One of the downsides of Puppet Dance AI is that it is very susceptible to traps. So I can't have anything. Yeah, you can have, like, the normal parts of the game. And by you, I mean me. Like I said, it's not like I'm, giving this to everyone, being like, this is the way you should play the game. Most people should play the game casually and just enjoy that. And my simple statement is, I enjoy the idea of the challenge runs, but the game is clearly not designed for them, and they're very easy to break. Oop. Not break it? Well, where's the line then? Like, there's another issue, though, is what's the definition of breaking the game? It's like, what, I'm gonna ban all setup moves, I'm gonna ban all trap moves, I'm gonna ban all weather and all terrain effects? It's theoretically an option, but it also doesn't necessarily fix the first issue that I talked about. First issue. Well, the whole concept was, if I could, if I had like a ROM editor to make things, it's like, rebalance your side of the game, and also make the game more interesting outside of the major boss fights. Like, there are just not a lot of A, mandatory fights, and B, mandatory fights with, like, a halfway competent team. So I talk about this with, like, the Remains of Blazing Hell. It's just like, there's like 12 trainers or something in there. I don't know the exact number. I just feel, there's a lot of trainers in there. And there are literally 2 of them that are mandatory. And only one of them, the Oku fight, is worth anything. For the sake of a challenge run, specifically. I mean, I'll say that. It can be fine designed casually. I'm not gonna say anything against that, but like, for the sake of a run like this, it's like, what do I care in the Force of Magic when there's a trainer with, like, oh, here's an optional trainer with, like, 2 puppets. They don't have custom move sets. They don't have items. They're low leveled often, like pretty low leveled. They kind of exist as like XP dumps for like casual playthroughs. Guy's never happy. You're the one who's never happy. I like Puppet Dance. And I like the Nuzlocke I've been doing. Well, the only thing I'm getting at here is that, you know, if I can get my hands on like the knowledge and the editors for it, like I said, and the AI knowledge, I'd be interested in trying to design it, at least inspired by, not like all the way. Gosh, no, I'm not good enough as a game designer to do any of this, but inspired by the many ideas of this throughout the Pokemon scene of, you know, the Pokemon Run and Bun style Nuzlocke that I love a lot in that field. Yes, I have heard of the existence of said editor. I haven't, like, seen it myself. I know that if I, like, go asking around, I could probably get my hands on it, but... Go through this instead of weakening the player's options, you just make them even stronger. Oh, what? Waggy with Genbu might be too strong. Let's make Waggy's Genbu instead of a 50% water boost. Let's give it a 100% water boost. Morale boost provides +1 attack on kill. Let's also make it provide +1 attack on switch in and on kill. Warm. The realm spawns with priority. Yeah, like I said, I mean, if I was really hyped up on looking for it, I'd probably re-hop in that Discord for a brief bit and try asking around. Jarvis, I need you to look inside Puppet Dance Performance and disassemble the assembly code to determine how the AI acts in all situations. Brock, can you get on this? 20 trainers in a row. Yup. Yeah, I'll completely remove the story from the game. I'll completely remove everything else from the game. And just make everything... Just make it feel like a battle simulator, that's all it'll be. I mean, to a degree it comes off like that, but... Stadium, yeah. But that's just the Human Village tournament. You know, there's a term that I've heard used about the design of Run and Gun. It's a term I really like for it, where it's not about you. You're the main character, you know, going throughout the world. It's that every other character, every other trainer is effectively the same as you. You're not a special protagonist in this regard. Is to make every other trainer feel real. You're running at bunnies. It's not even bunnies, it's just bun. I don't even know what it's supposed to mean. I don't even know what the guy intended with the name. He's a guy that at some point played Pokemon competitively and then moved to go make that... Make Run and Bun, like, designed specifically around Nuzlocking. Run and Gun? Oof. But it's Bun? I don't know. Viper Sage, yeah. Like, a lot of it feels like, especially in Puppet Dance, and again, not that it's bad like this, a lot of it feels like it's designed... A lot of, like, the mechanics feel designed around competitive 1v1 player versus player battles. And again, it's really hard to make you can make AI play well, you can make AI smart, but it's really hard to make AI play like a human. Give Aya speed boost. Yeah, give speed Aya speed boost. There's Gale. Yeah, but Gale only provides, what, a 50% speed boost once? But if she gets up-tempo, then that's a 50% speed boost every turn. Huh? How about that? Checkmate, liberals. It's not about having a persisting solid speed boost. It's about sending a message at +6. It's about using a choice-belted speed Aya with that at +6. It's about being as fast as you can possibly go. Also, that is another thing, too. If you just get access to, like, not that you have to completely ban these items, but one thing I think for sure, too, is there's a lot of good items and shit you find in Puppet Dance. And I think a really good thing would be limiting your access to, like, limiting it a little bit. Like, you want to know something else that's kind of broken? The gems. The gems that get a 40% damage boost once. It was like in Pokemon where you only had one to use per run. Then that might be something, but... Like food rations? Yeah, you get 2 food rations. You also get them pretty early, too. I'll actually mention this concept, and this is one thing I really like in Pokemon Run and Bun, is you don't get access to this till, like, till late game, essentially. But there are the few items in the game. The Salt Vest, which is 50% Spadef boost, but you can't use any utility moves. You can't use status moves. There's the Leftovers, which is food rations, and there are the 3 choice items. The game effectively... Now, there is a slight, like, cheese strat in the game where you can get yourself a second version of this, but the game gives you access to these in the late game, but the way it works is it never lets you have access to more than one at once. You pick up one of them, and there's a guy that will let you trade that item in for one of the others, but you're not allowed to have more than one of any of those at a given time. So you can play with some of, like, the most broken items, but you're extremely limited in what breaking the game you can. Pretty so that's against people in the Trick Room. I don't think that's how Trick Room works, but... LNN. I mean, the day's already going really great. So I'm in a good mood. Give every AI the old Boruto puppets. Tricky. Yeah, but that's like number overflow. And also not even like particularly good to like utilize. It's more one of those things about can we do it rather than is it useful. Also, if you want to outspeed in Trick Room, just use a priority move. But so just some puppets? I don't know. I'm not sure how the stat formula is in puppets compared to normal Pokemon. I'd assume it might be the same, but I don't actually know. So, who knows if some, like, weird mechanics and bugs like that carry over or not. Yeah, so the answer is like, is there a number in the base game that like the stats are supposed to be limited to, and it's not? There's like no intention for the game to allow for a higher stat. So if you like happen to get a higher stat than that, it like breaks the system or not. Yeah, but again, I don't know. Who knows exactly? I can't tell you how the game is actually coded in Puppet Dance for this purpose. My guess is they probably don't have that in there, but also at the end of the day, who knows? Like, the only way to go find out is by testing some examples, or by trying to, like, read the code and understand that. See if there's a way that, like, the code was not intended, but... That's more mythbustery than it is, like, challenge run or any aspect like that, or competitive mechanics. It's like the idea of trying to sit there and be like, what type of... How do you make a move so that, you know... What move setup lets you do the most damage possible in the game, right? Like, for example, one big thing that I would definitely do if I, you know, made a act of Puppet Dance specifically for the sake of Nuzlocke purposes is the dragon amulet. Probably only let you, the player, have like one of those, maybe. Although if you remove setup, it's not as good, but it still is pretty damn fucking good. You'd probably have to ban it altogether. Nah, you could probably give yourself one at some point, like, probably later in the game. Maybe. If I'm not intending to make it the hardest thing in the world, you could definitely still give out one. And I would not intend it to try to make it the hardest thing in the world. The existence of the Dragon Amulet is one of those interesting... competitive versus Nuzlocke balance relations. Like, the Dragon Amulet is kind of like a bad item for competitive human battling, but for the sake of like Nuzlocks, it's insane. One of the best items out there. Yeah, because like the amount of situations where like it'd be relevant competitively to like really help you're so niche, and it's there's always like a better other option. And like casually, it's like, what do you care about crits casually, right? Human, so true. What? Nice. Airton or type gem, yeah. Also, if you're playing casually, you just rather throw something that's like generally useful on and not like switch out items like all the time anyway. Yeah, what I'd often do, I think, is just like I'd throw an item on and then just not think about it for like until like I take them off my team. Yeah, I would probably ban the boundary trance, you know? Like I currently have best way out of this here. Yep. You know, I wonder if there's a way to make certain restrictions on style changes. Probably not. Shit's a dry poison, yeah. Or maybe like the life charm, right? Or you put like the curing charm if you really don't want to get ailmented. Style chain restrictions. Well, like the most bare bones idea of this is, what if you, like, there are a lot of other ways you could take this, but what if you took a puppet and you said, okay, at level 30 you can style change A this puppet. If you wait until level 40, you could style change B it. And if you wait till level 50, you could style change C it. That's like the most basic like idea that like crossed my mind. Because good, yeah. I guess another way you could do it is just make the puppet from level 30 to 50 learn no moves. That's a joke idea. It's not something I'd actually do, but no, not necessarily. Balance its moveset. Woo! Yeah, and that's completely fair for that. But I tend to argue those are usually more casual runs. The other thing I'd be interested in, like, the base game is, like, is the idea I mentioned before, where it's like, okay, take a starting puppet, and then be like, how far can you get in the game with just this one puppet? Not using Nuzlocke rules or anything special for that, but, like, how far can you get in the game with something like that? That is an idea I've had before. Is take your puppets and be like, how far can you play this game casually with this? Use it as your starting puppet. No, like, real other restrictions, besides maybe no healing in battle. Damn, that was a nice Saruta. I do like that right, left, left strat there. That's strat on Nom 3 that I've learned to really, really like. Holy fuck, what a Peerless Wind God! That might be the most disgusting. That might be the best Fearless Wind God I've ever had. Holy fuck. That was disgusting. Never die on stage 5? Question mark? Remember, guys, pants stay brown. I love enemies that shoot at random intervals. Hey, anything can be lethal if you mess up on it. More importantly, like, I'm just happy to be here again. I'm glad I've gotten back to being better at Exile Doll again. So that makes things like this more common. Whoa, whoa there, buddy. Bro's out here offering free Shavakadu. That was finally free. I wouldn't say free. I also want to maintain this average for a little bit more, but I've gotten a lot more consistent on it, and then I kind of lost that consistency, and then I got it back. I should pay attention for this attack. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that, you stupid slut. Yeah, at least I was ready to play around it because I watched it ahead of time. Her movement on that non-pin really determined some things. Oops, that was a kind of a little bit of a mistake, but we're fine. How vertical or how horizontally she goes on that mid-spell can vary your gaps a little bit. Well, regardless of anything else, third best pace to date. Ever done an Exile Doll timeout? I have done plenty. The problem with Exile Doll timeout is that the second half of the attack is so different than the first half. Like, the second half of the attack is dodging in completely a different way than you do in the first. Well, not completely different, that's an exaggeration, but the second half just plays differently than the first half. No, I meant third best run, period. She fucking tried the same thing again. That's the one time I died here at base. Okay, second best run to date. A lot of game left. A lot that you can mess up on. I've died to this non before. Not on pace, but I have died to it. Never underestimate Moses and his miracles. Although generally the rule of thumb is on pace, you just never underestimate anything. I hate this spell so very much. It's no Hydro, but I still hate it. Nice. I don't think it's a bad design spell. I just don't like it personally. I love enemies with random intervals. Okay, there's so much that can kill you on this stage. Whether it be the stage portion, specifically the end, or Kaneko herself. There is so much that's lethal. I did not pick up the items. My score. World record is Jover. I hate you, Fairy. Just fucking die. That Fairy sucks. Ugh. Well, there's only one thing to do. That is play. Even when everything, including this, can kill. Okay, Kaneko, be nice to me. Every attack after this one has a method of dying that I've done before, multiple times as well. Whoop Divine Bay Crop. Especially this one. Yeah. Oh, I should have gone for the gap up higher. Don't forget to kiss your Kaneko. Ooh, I should have played way more aggressive on that one. What a dodge. Oh, really? I did that previous dodge all just for that? Okay. Turn back into what it was before. Oh, yeah, that's another one. Okay, good. Previous PB? No, this is, my previous PB was better. This is still my second best run, though, so we take those. My previous PB was getting to Divine Virtues. That's good. I mean, second best run I've ever done is pretty good, I'd consider. Especially, I just want to comment on that fucking Peerless Wind God. That was fucking insane. that was probably the craziest Peerless Wind God I've ever done. Good old Taurus. Second best run? Yeah, got to Taurus. One of his top 3 scariest moments for you. Non-1 is probably her third hardest attack on Kaneko. It is a rough one. That video, maybe I should make it to a short. God, what just tunneling with that PS1 gun. I mean, I was just playing. Sometimes like you just sometimes you're just making reads right, but not only are you making reads right, you're actually like executing it right, which is a whole other like difficulty. I think I'll do another attempt. Do another run. I'll be moving immediately, but good old Taurus. What I do want to do beforehand, though, is while I take a breather, I want to. Doll rest of the game lock in. Nah, usually if I die to exile doll, I tend to reset. Why is Twitch trying to offer me suggested collabs? Like, oh, you want to do a collab stream with these people? Is it going to automatically play volume if I try to do this? Not. Dude, this that was fucking insane. Let me just make this one real quick. I show speed. Maybe I don't know. Is he streaming right now? Maybe I'll try to hit him up. He might think I'm just like too cool though, and like, and just think he's not like good enough for me. Oh, he's not streaming right now. Wow, what a shame. I'll have to try again. I'll have to try again later. Okay, hold up. I didn't actually grab that. Why is there a clip on my channel that I think Fammy made, or I don't even think it was Fammy, I think it was someone else made. That's called that's called Alfonso hates Brazilians. No, it's a funny clip, and it was made ironically. Here, I'll put this clip here. Yeah, I hate Brazilians. Another day in the office. I gotta let my heart, like, calm down. I go by. Ooh, she put her body on me, and then she rubbed her body all over me, dude. She saw. She was like, here's my Taurus. I'm gonna put myself all on. Hello, Fumorin. Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. You missed the good one. But hello. Ace, Taurus. It's been 2 hours. I should probably move on. But I'll give her another attempt or two if it's early game, just to play down my energy. I'm a little overstimulated right now. And I do not have the LNN, no. If I had the LNN, I would not be playing this game. You think I want to see Hydro Camouflage? Like, if I'm not grinding an LNN? Why would I ever willingly, like... See if it's camouflage, though? Good point. Well, that's the problem. I can't see the attack. It's too difficult to see. Like, I don't know, I go into Hydro Camouflage, it's like, oh, I see the bullets are going to the left, and then they just, like, suddenly appear on the right, like, out of magic. Everybody, Atina's stage. Say hi to Kina. It's 5,000 faith. World record is Jover, dude. I'm sorry, Tamina Recover. Oh, I lost too much faith there as well. GG. Go next. You know, hey, she's still here. You have faith maxing? Unfortunately, not me this run. LNN maxing. I don't know how much of that. I don't know if the faith maxing was the trade-off for that. I think that was just me not managing the faith properly. You think she ever gets tired of spinning? See, that cancel there, that was not a faith max cancel. Oh, like breathing for her? Okay. Faith max cancel builder, yeah. I mean, I pay attention to it in the early game, because, you know, you're just kind of sitting around here. You kind of pay attention to the faith maxing. Because you can. Oh, I just didn't move left enough. Yoink. Okay, you got like a one more from me game. Oop. Okay, I guess I'll take my second best run and move on for now. I guess. Oh. I guess. Baka. Good enough. Yeah, I guess just having my second only pace to stage 6 and my second, you know, just my second best run is, I guess it's good enough. I guess.